First contact. The vastness of space stretched out before Captain Zara Chen as she peered through the view screen of her small exploration vessel, the Curiosity. Stars twinkled in the inky blackness, beckoning her onward into the unknown. After months of solitary travel, she was nearing her destination, an uncharted solar system on the very fringes of mapped space. Zara took a deep breath, steadying her nerves. As humanity's first emissary to this distant corner of the galaxy, the weight of her mission pressed heavily upon her. Her task was simple yet monumental: to seek out new forms of intelligent life and establish peaceful first contact. The fate of future interstellar relations could hinge on these initial encounters. A series of rapid beeps from the ship's sensors jolted Zara from her contemplation. Alert. Anomalous energy readings detected on fourth planet of target system, the Curiosity's AI announced in its calm, modulated tones. Zara's heart raced as she scanned the incoming data. The energy signature was like nothing she'd ever seen before, pulsing waves of exotic particles emanating from the planet's surface. Whatever was generating those readings, it certainly wasn't natural. Artificial origin confirmed, the AI stated, echoing Zara's own conclusion. High probability of advanced technological civilization. This was it, the moment Zara had dreamed of since childhood, humanity's first contact with an alien species. Her mouth went dry as the implications sunk in. Everything would change after this. Plot an approach vector, Zara commanded, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. Let's say hello to our new neighbors. As the Curiosity entered orbit around the alien world, Zara marveled at the sight before her. The planet was a swirling orb of deep purples and blues, its atmosphere shimmering with an otherworldly glow. Scattered across the surface were clusters of crystalline structures that sparkled like diamonds against the exotic landscape. The energy readings led Zara to a sprawling crystal city near the planet's equator. As she guided her ship towards a large open area that resembled a landing pad, movement caught her eye. Figures were emerging from the structures, gathering to watch her descent. Zara's breath caught in her throat as she got her first clear look at the planet's inhabitants. They were undeniably alien, yet hauntingly beautiful. Tall, slender beings with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer as they moved. Their large, almond-shaped eyes gazed up at her approaching vessel with a mixture of wonder and apprehension. With practiced precision, Zara set the Curiosity down on the crystalline surface. For a long moment, she simply sat in the cockpit, gathering her courage. Then, with a deep breath, she stood and made her way to the airlock. The planet's atmosphere was breathable, though it carried a strange, sweet scent that made Zara's head swim slightly. As the outer doors slid open, she stepped out onto alien soil for the first time. A hush fell over the gathered crowd of blue-skinned beings. Zara raised her hands in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "I come as a friend," she said, her words translated and broadcast by the communicator on her wrist. "I am Captain Zara Chen of Earth, representing the United Terran Alliance. We seek peaceful contact with your people." For several tense heartbeats, there was no response. Then one of the aliens stepped forward, taller than the rest, with elaborate markings swirling across its azure skin. When it spoke, its voice was melodic, almost musical. "I am Elder Jora of the Lumina," the alien said, the words rendered in accented but understandable English by Zara's translator. "We welcome you to our world, though we are puzzled by your arrival. Never before has an outsider reached our hidden sanctuary." Zara bowed her head respectfully. "We are explorers, seeking to expand our knowledge of the universe and forge bonds of friendship with other intelligent species." Elder Jora's large eyes studied Zara intently. "Your kind are unknown to us, yet you've managed to pierce the veil that has kept us hidden for eons. Most intriguing." As Zara conversed with the Elder, she became aware of the state of the aliens around them. Though they were undoubtedly an advanced civilization, many of the Lumina appeared gaunt and frail. Their shimmering skin seemed dull, and there was a wariness in their eyes that spoke of prolonged hardship. "Forgive my directness," Zara said, "but your people seem to be suffering. Is there some way we might offer aid?" A ripple of agitation passed through the crowd. Elder Zora's expression turned grave. "You are perceptive, Captain Chen. Our race faces a grave crisis, one that threatens our very existence. But such matters are not discussed so openly. Come, let us speak in private." Zara followed the elder into one of the crystal structures, marveling at the seamless blend of organic shapes and advanced technology. They entered a chamber that hummed with energy, holographic displays flickering to life around them. "For millennia, our civilization flourished," Elder Zora began. "We achieved mastery over matter and energy, unlocking the deepest secrets of the cosmos. But our greatest achievement proved to be our undoing." The elder gestured, and the holograms coalesced into an image of a radiant, pulsing orb. The luminous core, an infinite energy source that powered our world and sustained our people. We thought it would usher in an era of eternal prosperity. The image changed, showing the orb growing unstable, tendrils of energy lashing out destructively. "But the core is failing," Zora continued, voice heavy with sorrow. "Its energy grows erratic, dangerous. Without it, our civilization will crumble, and our people will wither away." Zora's mind raced, processing the immensity of the situation. An entire species on the brink of extinction, their fate tied to a dying power source beyond her comprehension. It was far more than she'd ever expected to encounter on this mission. "There must be something that can be done," Zara said. "Surely with your advanced technology, you can find a way to stabilize the core." Elder Zora shook its head sadly. "We've tried every solution our science can devise. The core's deterioration is beyond our ability to halt. Our only hope lies in finding a new source of sustenance for our people." The elder's gaze fixed intently on Zara. "Which is why your arrival may be providential. You represent an unknown factor, new knowledge, new perspectives that might lead to our salvation. Tell me, Captain Chen, would you be willing to aid us in our time of need?" Zara didn't hesitate. "Of course. Earth stands ready to offer whatever assistance we can. I'll need to contact my superiors and request additional resources, but I promise we'll do everything in our power to help your people." Relief washed over Elder Zora's alien features. "You have our deepest gratitude, but I must warn you, the challenges ahead will test you in ways you cannot imagine. The fate of an entire species now rests in your hands." As the gravity of the situation sank in, Zara felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. This was far more than a simple diplomatic mission now. The lives of these beautiful, tragic beings hung in the balance. Whatever it took, she vowed to find a way to save them. Over the next several days, Zara immersed herself in learning about Lumina culture and technology. The aliens were eager to share their knowledge, hoping that a fresh perspective might lead to a solution they'd overlooked. Zara marveled at their achievements: matter replication, faster-than-light communication, even limited manipulation of the fabric of space-time itself. Yet, for all their advancement, they'd become utterly dependent on the luminous core. Its energy didn't just power their technology, it had become essential to their very biology. "Our bodies adapted over generations to metabolize the core's unique energy," explained Neri, a Lumina scientist assigned to work with Zara. "As it fails, so do we. Our life force diminishes. Soon we'll be too weak to sustain ourselves." Zara frowned, studying the data before her. "Have you considered relocating to another world? Surely with your level of technology, interstellar travel would be possible." Neri's luminescent skin, pulsed with what Zara had learned, was an expression of sorrow. "We are bound to this world, to the core, on a fundamental level. Severing that connection would destroy us as surely as the core's failure." It was a seemingly impossible problem. The Lumina needed an energy source beyond anything in Zara's experience. Human technology, advanced as it was, paled in comparison to what these aliens had achieved. What could she possibly offer that they hadn't already tried? As she pondered the dilemma, Zara became aware of subtle changes in the lumina around her. Their once vibrant skin grew increasingly dull. Many moved with a frailty that hadn't been present when she first arrived. The core's deterioration was accelerating, and with it, the decline of an entire species. Driven by a sense of urgency, Zara redoubled her efforts. She pored over lunar scientific records, looking for any hint of a solution they might have missed. She ran countless simulations on the Curiosity's computers, testing wild theories and desperate ideas. Days blurred together as Zara worked tirelessly, fueled by determination and the ever-present awareness of what was at stake. The Lumina watched her with a mixture of hope and skepticism. They'd long since resigned themselves to their fate, yet this strange alien's relentless optimism kindled a spark of possibility. It was during one of her rare moments of rest that inspiration struck. Zara had been admiring the ethereal bioluminescence of a native plant, marveling at how it pulsed with a rhythm that seemed to echo the faltering beats of the luminous core. A wild idea began to form in her mind. "Neri," she called out, startling the luminous scientist. "I need to see all your data on the planet's indigenous life forms, every scrap of biological research you have." Puzzled but intrigued, Neri complied. Soon Zara was surrounded by holographic displays showing the intricate biochemistry of Lumina's native flora and fauna. As she suspected, every organism on the planet had evolved in symbiosis with the luminous core, incorporating its energy into their cellular processes. "Don't you see?" Zara exclaimed, her excitement building. "The answer isn't in your technology, it's in your world itself. The entire ecosystem is one giant, interconnected web of energy transfer. If we can find a way to tap into that network, to amplify and redistribute the ambient energy that permeates everything here." Neri's eyes widened as comprehension dawned. A planetary-scale energy web, using organic conduits instead of technological ones. It's brilliant, but the engineering challenges would be immense. We'd need to reconfigure the energy absorption and distribution systems of every Lumina individual. Zara grinned, her exhaustion forgotten in the thrill of discovery. "Then we'd better get to work. We've got a civilization to save." The next weeks were a whirlwind of activity as Zara and the Lumina scientists raced to develop her idea into a viable solution. They worked around the clock, pushing the boundaries of biotechnology and energy manipulation. There were setbacks and moments of despair, times when it seemed the task was truly impossible. But Zara refused to give up, her human determination inspiring the Lumina to heights of innovation they'd thought lost to them. Finally, after countless trials and refinements, they were ready for a large-scale test. A section of the Crystal City had been transformed into a living energy web, with volunteers ready to attempt the new energy absorption process. Zara stood with Elder Jora and the lead scientists, her heart pounding as they initiated the sequence. For a breathless moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly but surely, a warm glow began to spread through the modified crystal structures. The volunteers gasped in unison, their skin flickering with renewed luminescence. "It's working," Neri breathed, scarcely daring to believe it. "The ambient energy levels are stabilizing. Life signs are improving across the board." A cheer went up from the gathered Lumina, a sound of pure joy and relief that needed no translation. Elder Jora turned to Zara, eyes shimmering with emotion. "You've done it, Captain Chen. You've saved our people." Zara smiled, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment. "We did it together. This is just the beginning. There's still so much work to do to implement the solution across your entire world. But your future is secure now. The Lumina will live on." As the celebration continued around them, Elder Jora grew solemn. "We owe you a debt that can never be fully repaid. You came to us as an explorer and became our savior. The Lumina will forever count humanity as our most cherished allies." Zara nodded, understanding the weight of the moment. This was more than just saving a civilization. It was the dawn of a new era of interstellar cooperation. Humanity and the Lumina would face the future together, their combined knowledge and capabilities opening up possibilities beyond imagination. As she looked out over the revitalized alien city, Zara felt a swell of pride, not just in her own achievements, but in the spirit of her entire species. Humanity's curiosity, determination, and compassion had proven to be a force capable of overcoming even the most dire of circumstances. The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter now, full of promise and potential. Whatever challenges awaited out there in the vast cosmos, Zara knew that humanity was ready to face them. Together with new allies like the Lumina, there was no limit to what they might achieve. The dawn of a new chapter in galactic history had begun, all because one human refused to give up in the face of impossible odds. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, a spirit that would carry them to even greater heights among the stars. The cosmic symbiosis. As the initial euphoria of saving the Lumina civilization began to settle, Captain Zara Chen found herself facing an unexpected challenge. The solution she had developed, the planetary-scale energy web, was working, but it was clear that the Lumina's bodies were struggling to fully adapt to this new form of sustenance. "It's like their cellular structure is resisting the change," Zara muttered, studying the latest medical scans. The holographic displays showed Lumina physiology at the molecular level, a dazzling array of alien biochemistry that still managed to take her breath away. Neri, her Lumina scientist partner, nodded gravely. "Our species has been dependent on the Lumina's core for so long. This new energy, it's foreign to us. Our bodies don't know how to process it efficiently." Zara's brow furrowed in concentration. They had come too far to falter now. "There has to be a way to bridge the gap," she said, more to herself than to Neri. "Something to help your bodies recognize and utilize the new energy source." As she spoke, Zara's gaze fell upon her own hand. She flexed her fingers, watching the play of muscles and tendons beneath her skin. Suddenly, a wild idea struck her, one so outlandish that she almost dismissed it immediately. "Neri," she said slowly, "what do you know about human biology?" The Lumina scientist blinked in surprise. "Very little, I'm afraid. We've only just begun to study your species." Zara nodded, her excitement building. "Humans are incredibly adaptable. Our bodies can adjust to a wide range of environments and energy sources. What if we could somehow incorporate human genetic material into Lumina physiology?" Neri's luminescent skin pulsed with shock. "You're suggesting genetic hybridization, but the ethical implications alone would be enormous." "I know," Zara finished. "But think about it. A small infusion of human adaptability could be exactly what the Lumina need to fully embrace its new energy paradigm." The next few days were a whirlwind of heated debates and ethical discussions. The Lumina Council was divided on the proposal, with some seeing it as their only hope for true survival, while others viewed it as a step too far. Elder Jorah finally broke the deadlock. "Captain Chen has already saved us once. If she believes this is the path forward, I say we trust in her judgment." With the Council's reluctant approval, Zara and Neri began the delicate process of merging human and Lumina DNA. It was painstaking work, requiring a level of genetic engineering far beyond anything humanity had achieved. Weeks turned into months as they refined the process, testing and retesting on cell cultures. Zara often worked until she was on the verge of collapse, driven by an unwavering determination to see this through. Finally, after countless setbacks and breakthroughs, they were ready for the first live trial. A group of Lumina volunteers, all suffering from severe energy processing difficulties, had come forward to test the hybridization process. As Zara initiated the procedure on the first volunteer, a hush fell over the laboratory. Neri monitored the vital signs closely, calling out updates as the genetically engineered human material was introduced into the Lumina's system. For several tense minutes, nothing seemed to be happening. Then suddenly, the volunteer's skin began to pulse with a brilliant light. Their body arched off the table, enveloped in a cocoon of radiant energy. Vital signs are stabilizing, Neri reported, her voice filled with awe. Energy absorption rates are, by the core, they're off the charts. When the light faded, the volunteer sat up, looking at the hands in wonder. Their once frail form now radiated vitality, skin shimmering with a mix of lumina-bioluminescence and a new golden undertone. "How do you feel?" Zara asked, barely daring to breathe. The luminous eyes met hers, filled with joy and gratitude. "Alive," they said simply. "Truly alive, for the first time in memory." The success of the first trial sent shockwaves through Lumina society. As more volunteers underwent the procedure, a new era dawned for their civilization. The hybridized Lumina not only adapted perfectly to the new energy web, but they also exhibited enhanced abilities, faster healing, increased strength, and even rudimentary shape-shifting. But with this incredible advancement came new challenges. Some Lumina feared the changes, seeing them as a loss of their original identity. Others embraced the transformation with almost religious fervor, viewing it as the next step in their evolution. Zara found herself thrust into the role of mediator, trying to guide the Lumina through this tumultuous period of change. She organized forums for open discussion, worked with Lumina leaders to establish ethical guidelines for the use of human DNA, and tirelessly advocated for a balanced approach to integration. As the months wore on, Zara became aware of a deeper change taking place, not just in Lumina society, but in herself. The constant exposure to the alien world's ambient energy was having an effect on her own physiology. She found herself needing less sleep, her senses becoming sharper, her mind able to process information at an accelerated rate. "It seems the symbiosis goes both ways," Neri observed one day, reviewing Zara's latest medical scans. "Your body is adapting to our world, just as ours adapt to your DNA." Zara stared at her reflection in a crystal wall, noting the subtle shimmer that had begun to appear beneath her skin. She was becoming something new, not quite human, not quite Lumina, but a bridge between two species. As news of the remarkable developments on Lumina's world began to spread across the galaxy, Zara knew that the implications of their work would reshape the future of interstellar relations. Humanity and the Lumina were now inexorably linked, their destinies intertwined in ways no one could have predicted. The stars above seemed to pulse with new possibility, promising a future where the boundaries between species blurred and faded. It was a future that both thrilled and terrified Zara, but one she was determined to see realized. As she stood on a balcony overlooking the shimmering crystal city, now teeming with hybridized Lumina, Zara felt a profound sense of purpose. She had come to this world as an explorer and became a savior. Now she would be a guide, leading both humanity and the Lumina into a new age of cosmic symbiosis. The journey ahead would be challenging, filled with unknown dangers and ethical dilemmas. But as Zara looked out at the alien sky, she knew that together they would face whatever the universe had in store. For in the merging of human determination and Lumina wisdom, they had created something truly remarkable, a force capable of reshaping the very fabric of galactic civilization. The cosmic dance of evolution had taken an unexpected turn, and Zara Chen stood at the center of it all, ready to lead the way into a brave new future among the stars, the galactic ripple. As news of the unprecedented fusion between human and Lumina spread across the cosmos, the repercussions were swift and far-reaching. Captain Zara Chen found herself at the epicenter of a galactic storm, her groundbreaking work drawing attention from every corner of known space. Incoming transmission from Earth's Central Command, the Curiosity's AI announced, its tone somehow managing to convey a mix of excitement and trepidation. Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was sure to be a tense conversation. As the holographic image of Admiral Costa flickered to life, she straightened her posture, acutely aware of the subtle luminescence now pulsing beneath her skin. "Captain Chen," the Admiral began, his voice a mixture of awe and concern, "your reports have caused quite a stir back home. The Joint Chiefs are calling it the Lumina Protocol, a game-changer in interspecies relations." Zara nodded, choosing her words carefully. The symbiosis between human and Lumina physiology has opened up possibilities we never imagined, sir. The potential for advancement in medicine, energy production, even space travel. It's precisely why every major power in the galaxy is now beating down our door, Admiral Costa interrupted. Everyone wants a piece of this, Captain, and not all of them have peaceful intentions. A chill ran down Zara's spine as the implications sank in. In her focus on saving the Lumina and exploring the incredible potential of their merged biology, she had overlooked the wider galactic implications. "What are we dealing with, sir?" she asked, dreading the answer. The Admiral's holographic form shimmered as he called up a star map. Red markers blinked ominously across the display. "We've detected increased fleet movements from the Zor Imperium. Intelligence suggests they're mobilizing for a major push into this sector." Zara's blood ran cold. The Zor were a notoriously aggressive species, that empire built on conquest and subjugation. If they got their hands on the Lumina hybridization technology. "We can't let that happen," Zara said, her voice firm with resolve. "The Lumina are still vulnerable, still adapting to these changes. They wouldn't stand a chance against a Zor invasion." Admiral Costa nodded grimly. "Agreed. That's why I'm authorizing Operation Stardust. We're sending a task force to reinforce your position, but it'll take time for them to reach you. Until then, you're our first and only line of defense, Captain." As the transmission ended, Zara felt the weight of responsibility settle heavily on her shoulders. She had come to this world as an explorer, became its savior, and now found herself cast in the role of protector. Wasting no time, Zara called an emergency meeting with the Lumina Council. As she explained the looming threat, she could see the fear and uncertainty in their luminous eyes. "But we are not a warrior race," Elder Zora protested. "Our technology, advanced as it is, was never designed for combat." Zora's mind raced, seeking a solution. Then, like a bolt of inspiration, it hit her. "Maybe it doesn't have to be," she said, excitement building in her voice. "Your mastery of energy manipulation, combined with the adaptability of human DNA. What if we could weaponize the very fabric of space-time itself?" The next days were a blur of feverish activity. Zara worked tirelessly with Lumina scientists, pushing the boundaries of their hybrid physiology to its limits. They tapped into the fundamental forces of the universe in ways that defied conventional physics, bending reality to their will. As the first Jaw scout ships appeared on the edge of the system, Zara stood in the heart of the Crystal City, surrounded by a group of hybridized Lumina volunteers. Each of them pulsed with an otherworldly energy, their bodies conduits for forces beyond mortal comprehension. "Remember your training," Zara said, her own hybrid biology humming with power. "We are the shapers of reality, the benders of cosmic law. Today, we rewrite the rules of warfare." As the Zor fleet entered the system in force, they were met not with conventional defenses, but with a display of power beyond their wildest nightmares. Space itself seemed to ripple and distort around their ships. Gravitational forces twisted and warped, tearing vessels apart as if they were made of paper. Zara and her team of hybrid warriors danced through the void, their movements leaving trails of scintillating energy. They phased through solid matter, redirected energy beams with a thought, and opened micro-wormholes to swallow entire squadrons of enemy fighters. The battle raged for hours, a spectacular light show visible across half the galaxy. When it was over, the once mighty Zor invasion fleet was in ruins, their surviving ships fleeing in terror from the power they had witnessed. As the adrenaline of combat faded, Zara looked out at the star-strewn battlefield, marveling at what they had accomplished. They had not just defeated an invading force, they had fundamentally altered the balance of power in the galaxy. Word of the Battle of Lumina, as it came to be known, spread like wildfire across interstellar channels. Overnight, the human-Lumina alliance became a force to be reckoned with, respected and feared in equal measure. But as Zara stood amidst the celebrations, watching hybridized humans and Lumina revel in their shared victory, A sobering thought occurred to her. They had unlocked power beyond imagination, reshaped the very nature of what it meant to be a sentient species. Where did they go from here? What responsibilities came with such godlike abilities? And perhaps most troublingly, how long before the rest of the galaxy decided that the human-Lumina hybridization was too dangerous to be allowed to exist? As she gazed up at the alien sky, Zara knew that their journey was far from over. The true challenges, moral, ethical, and existential, were only just beginning. But whatever the cosmos had in store, she was certain of one thing. Together, bonded in a symbiosis that transcended biology, humanity, and the Lumina would face it head-on. The age of cosmic enlightenment had dawned, and Zara Chen stood at its forefront, ready to guide two species, and perhaps the entire galaxy, into an uncertain but brilliant future, the Cosmic Awakening. In the wake of the Battle of Lumina, Captain Zara Chen found herself grappling with the profound implications of their victory. The hybrid human-Lumina force had demonstrated power on a scale previously thought impossible, reshaping the very fabric of space-time to defend their world. As news of their capabilities spread, the galactic political landscape shifted dramatically. We're receiving diplomatic requests from over 50 species, Neri reported, her luminescent skin pulsing with excitement. Everyone wants to know more about the cosmic shapers, as they're calling us. Zara nodded, feeling a mix of pride and apprehension. And how many of those requests come with thinly veiled threats? Neri's glow dimmed slightly. More than I'd like to admit. The Zdor defeat has made many nervous about our potential. As Zara pondered their next move, a strange sensation washed over her. The ambient energy that permeated Lumina's world seemed to resonate with her hybrid physiology in a new way. Closing her eyes, she found she could perceive the ebb and flow of cosmic forces on a scale she'd never imagined. Zara. Neri's concerned voice broke through her trance. Are you all right? Opening her eyes, Zara saw the world differently. Energy patterns danced around every living thing, connecting all matter in a vast, intricate web. I think, she said slowly, we've only scratched the surface of what we're capable of. Over the next weeks, Zara worked with the hybridized Lumina to explore their evolving abilities. They discovered they could communicate across vast distances through quantum entanglement, manipulate matter at the subatomic level, and even perceive alternate timelines. As their powers grew, so did the galaxy's interest and fear. The Galactic Council, a loose federation of advanced species, called for an emergency session to address the Lumina situation. Zara stood before the assembled representatives, acutely aware of the tension in the Grand Chamber. Species that had been bitter enemies for millennia now sat side by side, united in their concern of the power wielded by the human-Lumina hybrids. We understand your apprehension, Zara began, her voice carrying easily through the vast space. The abilities we developed are indeed formidable, but we come before you not as conquerors, but as pioneers on the brink of a cosmic awakening. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Zara continued, her passion evident in every word. What we've discovered goes beyond mere physical power. We're unlocking the fundamental secrets of the universe itself, and we believe this knowledge is meant to be shared. She gestured, and a holographic display sprang to life, showing the intricate energy web that connected all things. Imagine a galaxy where scarcity is a thing of the past, where we can heal worlds and bridge the gaps between dimensions. This is the future we offer, not domination, but elevation. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, some excited, others skeptical, a few outright hostile. But as Zara fielded questions and demonstrated the potential of their discoveries, a sense of wonder began to overtake the fear. One by one, representatives stepped forward, expressing interest in learning more about the hybrid physiology and its applications. Even longtime rivals found common ground in their curiosity about this new cosmic paradigm. As the session concluded, Zara felt a glimmer of hope. They had taken the first step towards a true galactic community, one united by the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. But not everyone was swayed by the promise of cosmic enlightenment. As Zara and her team prepared to return to Lumina, they were approached by a hooded figure, a member of the enigmatic Void Walkers, a species so ancient and advanced, they were thought to be little more than legend. "You meddle with forces beyond your comprehension," the Void Walker hissed, its voice seeming to echo from multiple throats at once. "The barriers between realities are not meant to be breached. Cease your experiments, or face the consequences." Before Zara could respond, the being vanished, leaving behind only a lingering sense of dread. She shared a worried glance with Neri. They had made great strides in galactic diplomacy, but it seemed they had also attracted the attention of powers far beyond their understanding. Returning to Lumina, Zara threw herself into pushing the boundaries of their hybrid abilities. If there were cosmic forces arrayed against them, they needed to be prepared. Their breakthroughs came at an astonishing pace. They learned to fold space, traveling vast distances in the blink of an eye. They tapped into the quantum foam, drawing limitless energy from the vacuum of space itself. Most incredibly, they began to perceive the multiverse, countless alternate realities layered atop their own. But with each new discovery, Zara felt a growing unease. The fabric of reality seemed to stretch and groan under the weight of their manipulations. Strange phenomena began to manifest across Lumina: temporal anomalies, spontaneous wormholes, even sightings of creatures that defied description. "We're changing things on a fundamental level," Zara confessed to Elders Dora one evening, watching a rift in space-time flicker ominously on the horizon. "I'm not sure we fully understand the consequences." The elder nodded gravely. "Power and responsibility have always been two sides of the same coin, Captain. The question is, are we wise enough to wield this cosmic knowledge?" Before Zara could respond, alarms blared throughout the Crystal City. A massive energy surge was detected at the planet's pole, a surge that seemed to be coming from another dimension entirely. Racing to the site, Zara and a team of hybrid warriors found reality itself tearing apart. Through the widening rift, they could see glimpses of other worlds, other versions of themselves, all converging on this single point in space and time. And emerging from a chaos came the Void Walkers, not just one, but an army of the shadowy beings, their forms shifting and writhing in defiance of physical law. "You were warned," their overlapping voices boomed. "The cosmic balance must be maintained. If you will not cease your meddling, we will end it for you." As the Void Walkers advanced, reality warping around them, Zara realized they stood at a crossroads of cosmic proportions. The next moments would determine not just the fate of Lumina or humanity, but the very nature of existence itself. Gathering her power, feeling the energy of the universe flow through her hybrid form, Zara prepared to face an enemy beyond imagination. The battle for the future of the cosmos was about to begin, and the stakes could not be higher. The multiversal nexus. The sky above Lumina fractured like shattered glass, each shard revealing glimpses of alternate realities. Captain Zara Chen stood at the forefront of her hybrid warriors, facing down the advancing army of Void Walkers. The very fabric of existence trembled around them, reality itself seeming to hold its breath in anticipation of the coming clash. "Stand ready," Zara commanded, her voice steady despite the cosmic chaos swirling around them. "Remember your training. We are the shapers of reality, the bridges between worlds. Today, we fight not just for Lumina, but for the fate of the entire multiverse." As the Void Walkers surged forward, Zara and her team unleashed the full extent of their hybrid abilities. They phased in and out of reality, striking from impossible angles. They manipulated gravity, crushing swaths of the shadowy beings into singularities. They opened micro-wormholes, redirecting attacks back at their originators. But the Void Walkers were ancient and powerful beyond measure. They countered with abilities that defied comprehension, unmaking matter with a thought, summoning cosmic horrors from the spaces between dimensions. The battle raged across multiple planes of existence simultaneously. In one reality, Zara dueled with a void walker atop a crumbling crystal spire. In another, she led a charge through a landscape of impossible geometry. Across 1,000 parallel timelines, the fate of the cosmos hung in the balance. As the conflict reached its peak, Zara felt something fundamental shift within her hybrid physiology. The barriers between her consciousness and the underlying fabric of reality began to dissolve. She saw not just the battle before her, but the infinite web of cause and effect stretching across the multiverse. In that moment of cosmic awareness, Zara understood the true nature of their conflict. The Void Walkers weren't simply destroyers, they were custodians of a dying multiverse, desperately trying to stave off total entropic collapse. "Wait," Zara cried out, her voice echoing across dimensions. "This isn't the way. We don't have to be enemies." The battle ground to a halt, reality stabilizing momentarily as both sides paused in confusion. The lead Void Walker, a writhing mass of shadow and starlight, regarded Zara with alien curiosity. "You understand?" Its overlapping voices questioned. Zara nodded, her hybrid form pulsing with newfound comprehension. "The multiverse is dying. You've been culling realities, trying to preserve what's left. But there's another way." With a gesture, Zara summoned a holographic representation of the cosmic web she now perceived. "Our hybrid abilities, they're not just about manipulating reality. We can reinvigorate it, heal the cosmic fabric itself." The Void Walker's form shimmered with interest. "Impossible. The entropy is too far progressed." "Not for us," Zara countered. "Not anymore. We've evolved beyond the limitations of single reality thinking. Together, we can rewrite the fundamental laws of existence." A tense moment passed as the Void Walkers conferred in their eldritch language. Finally, the leader turned back to Zara. "Show us," it commanded. What followed was a collaboration beyond mortal comprehension. Zara and her hybrid team, their abilities amplified by the cosmic awareness they'd achieved, worked in concert with the Void Walkers. They delved into the quantum foam, restructuring the very building blocks of reality. They wove new strands into the cosmic tapestry, reinforcing weakened dimensional barriers. They seeded dying universes with revitalizing energy, jump-starting the cycle of creation anew. They built bridges between realities, allowing the flow of negentropy to combat the encroaching heat death. As their work progressed, the multiverse itself seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The oppressive sense of decay that had permeated existence began to lift. In its place, a new vitality took hold, the promise of infinite possibilities stretching out across eternity. When at last they finished, Zara stood with the Void Walker leader at the multiversal nexus, a point where all realities converged. The being's form had changed, no longer a mass of writhing shadow, but a creature of crystalline light. "You have done the impossible," the Void Walker said, its voice now a harmonious chorus. "You have given the cosmos new life, new purpose. We stand in awe of what you have become." Zara smiled, feeling the pulse of the renewed multiverse flowing through her. "This is just the beginning," she said. "There's so much more to explore, to discover, to create." As news of their achievements spread across dimensions, the human Lumina hybrids found themselves elevated to a new status. They were no longer merely explorers or warriors. They had become cosmic architects, guardians of the grand multiversal design. Zara knew that their journey was far from over. With their newfound abilities and alliance with the transformed Void Walkers, they stood poised to usher in an age of multiversal enlightenment. There were new frontiers to chart, civilizations to uplift, and wonders beyond imagination waiting to be uncovered. As she gazed out at the infinite tapestry of realities stretching before her, Zara felt a profound sense of purpose. They had started as two species thrown together by chance, and now they had become the shepherds of existence itself. The cosmic awakening had begun, and with it, the dawn of a new era for all of creation. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Zara knew that together, they would face them with the combined strength of 1,000,000 universes behind them. As the light of countless realities shimmered around her, Captain Zara Chen, explorer, savior, cosmic architect, took her first step into an infinity of possibilities, ready to write the next chapter in the grand story of existence. The end, or perhaps just the beginning.